Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I have something pretty exciting for you all. So as you may have heard from the last couple of days, I'm actually going to be on vacation from today until next Friday morning, but at the same time I didn't want to leave the channel without any content since you guys have been really awesome in supporting me, and we're so close to reaching 30,000 subscribers, so I still wanted to, have some content while I was gone. So I figured now would be a good time to go over some of the battle videos I have saved up from actual live tournaments. So what I'm actually going to be uploading the next couple of days are my matches at the St. Louis Premier Challenge that I attended a couple of weeks back, just because there were a lot of great games I thought, and this way you'll get to see my mentality in a best of 3 set a bit better. So of course it's not live recorded, so these tend to be a bit shorter, but I still think they feature some great matches, and I hope to do some good analysis while we go about it. So this was the first game of the top 8 at St. Louis. My opponent was Jimmy Blaze. I finished 6-1 in the Swiss rounds. I believe Jimmy finished 5-2. Both of us were moving on to the top 8, but at this point, it was a best of 3 set. First one to 2 games wins, and then the other one would just be eliminated. So Jimmy, you see 4 of his Pokemon that he brought here: Gyarados, Hydreigon, Kangaskhan, and Whimsicott. The 2 he did not bring were Zapdos and Aegislash, which I thought was a pretty threatening team, but I actually felt really comfortable with my Gengar Terrakion lead. This was the Mega Venusaur team I've been using for about forever, and the reason behind that was because I knew I had Quick Guard on my Terrakion, so I could block Kangaskhan's Fake Out, I could block Whimsicott trying to Encore me into anything, and Gengar I thought disrupted his entire team really well. Ability to burn Kangaskhan, Icy Wind the Hydreigon on the Zapdos. Aegislash was the one Pokemon I didn't want to face, but that's why I had Bisharp in the back, and I felt like Venusaur actually just beat his team really hard if it could avoid getting, double targeted immediately on, which is why I decided to keep it in the back. So I decided to go with Gengar, Terrakion, Venusaur, and Bisharp to start things off. I did have Suicune and Heatran, but neither of them felt too appropriate in this match, given that, he had like Kangaskhan, Hydreigon, Aegislash, etc. So without further ado, let's finally jump into this game. So of course, in a best of 3, it's always a bit interesting because, you kind of approach each game differently. So for game 1, I typically go with my safest leads possible and try to win, but also try to figure out as much information as I can from my opponent, namely the items and movesets of all my opponent's Pokemon. So I'm really happy when he leads with Whimsicott and Kangaskhan against my Gengar and Terrakion because, like I said, my Terrakion was carrying Quick Guard at this point, so I could Quick Guard immediately to block out any potential Fake Outs, but I'm actually not going to do that. This first turn, I'm actually going to Will-O-Wisp and Close Combat into this Kangaskhan, expecting a Fake Out onto one of my 2. He actually goes straight for the Safeguard, and no Fake Out comes out, so I feel like, alright, this will play out alright, but my Terrakion goes for the Close Combat, and Kangaskhan actually hangs on with a sliver of HP, so this Kangaskhan choosing to invest a ton of HP in defense investment. As you may know, like I mentioned this in my Kangaskhan analysis video a while back, but you need a ton of EVs to survive that. He actually goes for the Power Up Punch onto Terrakion and gets a critical hit on the second attack, but I managed to hang on with 7 HP. So that totally caught me off guard. I thought I'd see the Fake Out come out, but no dice there. However, I am going to go for the safe Quick Guard this turn and just go for a Sludge Bomb onto Kangaskhan. That was a really clutch safeguard that first turn just to prevent the burn, because burn plus Close Combat would have picked up the KO. Fortunately enough, he does walk into my trap there, and the Quick Guard does prevent my Gengar from being knocked out. It doesn't even take any damage. I do get the Sludge Bomb off, and that's going to knock out Kangaskhan, but Whimsicott did set up Tailwind, so things are looking a bit scary right now. However, I did knock out Kangaskhan, and that was one of the biggest threats to my Mega Venusaur in the back, and he brings in Gyarados, and I know right now that Whimsicott cannot do anything offensively. Of course, Whimsicott actually does have the possibility of carrying Moonblast, so I'm not sure whether it has it right now or not, but I'm actually just going to pull out the switch into Venusaur here just because I don't need anything with Terrakion, as he goes for the taunt onto that slot. That is going to block my Leech Seed and protects. The Waterfall into Gengar does a ton of damage, bringing me down to 13 HP. I do get the Sludge Bomb off against this Gyarados, but it doesn't even do 50%, which was pretty surprising. So Jimmy opting to go with some really bulky Pokemon here. So I'm actually going to target down this Whimsicott slot with a Sludge Bomb immediately, just because I really want to just start picking up damage, and another knockout would be really nice in terms of momentum. Of course, Tailwind is still up on his end though, so I'm just going to sacrifice my Gengar here. I don't want to switch into Terrakion to a Waterfall, and I think Bisharp would be pretty important since I didn't know whether he had Aegislash or Zapdos in the back, or Hydreigon, and I felt like Bisharp beat the Aegislash and Zapdos pretty darn well. So I get a Sludge Bomb off here, and the bulk of his team is really showing, as well as the somewhat defensive nature of mine, since my Sludge Bombs aren't even doing over 50%. However, at this point I recognize that I know all of Jimmy's Pokemon, and Gyarados can't touch this Mega Venusaur. So what I'm actually going to do is just double up into the Hydreigon. Since the Sludge Bomb wasn't a 2-hit KO, I'm just going to Sucker Punch it to put it in KO range from this Sludge Bomb. Gyarados actually goes for the Dragon Dance. I'm 100% okay with that. Like, the only thing that could have really been terrible was if he, like, Waterfall flinched me or Ice Fang froze my Venusaur. But like I said, I know that this Gyarados has no way to really touch my Venusaur, which is why I aggressively target down that Hydreigon. Earth Power does knock out my Bisharp, but basically, everything goes to plan. I do pick up the KO onto Hydreigon with that double target. Safeguard, Tailwind, everything finally wears out, as Whimsicott's going to come back out for Jimmy, and Terrakion's going to come back out for me. So, of course, at this point, it's actually 2-2, and my Terrakion's about to faint, but I know that my Venusaur is the win condition here. Jimmy's got nothing to really deal with it. Even with all the Dragon Dances he sets up, Mega Venusaur here just wins outright. Though, you know, I figured that the Whimsicott actually might have had Swagger, so I protected with the Terrakion there just to get some free damage off there, put on some more pressure, because this way now it's in KO range from a Rock Slide or a Giga Drain, whereas, you know, there wasn't much of a reason not to protect with Terrakion there. This following turn, I'm going to go for a Quick Guard just to see, you know, if it wants the Encore Swag or anything. It's actually going to go for the Tailwind, which is a good play, but at this point, all I have to do is protect with Terrakion this next turn and Giga Drain onto the Gyarados. So like I said earlier on in Team Preview, I actually go for the Protector, which fails because I went for Quick Guard previously, and that's like the chance of double protecting. So Waterfall is going to knock out Terrakion there, but I don't need Terrakion anymore. It really did its job in that first turn, getting the close combat off against Kangaskhan. As he actually goes for the Endeavor with Whimsicott. I was really glad my opponent revealed that, because if I like had Sludge Bomb into Whimsicott earlier and it gone for the Endeavor, I actually probably would have lost this one. So it was really, really important that my opponent revealed that in the last turn of this game, because, you know, in a best of 3, that's such valuable information, and Jimmy knows he can't win there because all I have to do is Giga Drain and then Sludge Bomb, and he had no way to attack me, I assume, other than Endeavor, so he's just going to forfeit there. But it was a really, really intense first game, and, you know, I felt pretty good coming out of that one, because I thought it was a solid win. You know, no luck on either side. I felt like I just made the better plays overall, and I learned a lot of information about his team as well. For example, I knew Kangaskhan was really bulky, I knew Gyarados was Dragon Dance, I knew Whimsicott had, you know, Tailwind, and the Endeavor, which, like I said, was really, really huge, and that definitely made me very happy that I didn't aggressively target down Whimsicott earlier on, especially since it's a Pokemon that almost is guaranteed to carry Focus Sash. So I am able to win the first game against Jimmy in this best of 3 set. You know, got to be feeling pretty good now, but still a long way to go in terms of winning an entire best of 3, just because sometimes getting that second win can be very, very elusive, especially if your opponent's smart enough and picks up on some information. But yeah, we are going to take the first win here. Tune in tomorrow to figure out whether I am able to win the entire set 2-0 or whether Jimmy extends it to a third game. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I do like it that it's a bit shorter than normal, so, you know, you do get a nice upload, but one that's not, you know, doesn't take up like too much of your time. But yeah, that's it for this one, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow with Game 2. Alright, peace.